The Washington County Water Conservancy District owns and operates 5 reservoirs countywide. When combined, these reservoirs have the capacity to store in excess of 100,000 acre-feet of water, or nearly 33 billion gallons of surface water. Both surface and groundwater are treated and sent out to the various cities via pipeline. However, according to the estimated population growth, that's not going to be nearly enough to meet demands in the future.
By 2042, which is the life of the district's 20-year plan right now, we're anticipating Washington County will have 300,000 permanent residents.
Over the past few years, Washington County conservation efforts have saved over 1 billion gallons of water, leading the state.
Washington County has the highest reduction in per capita water use and the most participation in water incentive programs, as well as the most aggressive water conservation plan in the state.
Despite those conservation efforts, the demand for water due to drought and population growth continues. Recently, several mayors and Washington County leaders took a trip to see San Diego's pure water reuse recycling facilities to learn more about reusing water, not only for watering, but drinking.
One of the things that struck me most in San Diego, in the county, in that area, is they said that their entire water supply is imported. Now behind me you see the Virgin River Basin. We are entirely reliant upon the Virgin River Basin, but we have a source. The concept with purification is that we best utilize and reuse the water that comes through this desert community.
The 20-year plan in Washington County calls for the best use of water that is already here through reclamation. The plan is set up in 2 phases.
So with the regional reuse purification system on the phase 1, which we call the non-potable reuse, to do largely the agricultural exchanges, we're looking to have that online by 2030. And so that will free up our potable supplies to be able to store more of that Virgin River water and other water sources in our drinking water reservoirs. And then phase 2, which is the potable reuse, where we're purifying water and storing in our drinking water reservoirs, we're looking at around 2040.
Under that plan, agriculture water from the Virgin River would be taken in exchange for reuse water to be used for agriculture. It would be a trade of higher quality water that could potentially be used for drinking water.
The reuse exchange for non-potable reuse is a 1-to-1 exchange. So the district will provide reuse water or other district water supplies in exchange for the water that the agricultural users are already using that we could utilize for potable.
The plan would require the exchange of water rights with agriculture users by acquiring reuse water rights and contracts with local partners.
It's a lot of river water that the agricultural users are already using. Much of it is actually the same water that makes it to Quail and Sand Hollow here. So doing the exchange, we can allow for more of that water to go to our drinking water reservoirs for potable needs.
For the past 20 years, St. George has operated a regional water reclamation facility which treats wastewater for use as a secondary water supply.
St. George has been using it on golf courses, on parks, on cemeteries, schools, and some residential areas. We'll continue to do that, but ultimately the reuse system is going to expand to a region-wide system. Our Type 1 reuse water is water that's acceptable for human contact in an irrigation system, so you can use it for outdoor watering in residential areas as well as commercial, institutional, really any kind of outside watering use.
The Regional Reuse Advanced Purification System would need to be built near Ash Creek Special Service District, along with 60 miles of pipeline to transport the water to Quail Creek and Sand Hollow reservoirs for further treatment and redistribution.
From St. George's plant, we would produce Type 1 reuse and pump it through a pipeline to an advanced water treatment plant near Ash Creek. At that advanced water treatment plant, it'll treat the Type 1 reuse to a higher standard, and then from there that would be discharged into either Sand Hollow Reservoir or Quail Creek Reservoir. Once it's in Quail Creek Reservoir, it could go through the conventional treatment plant that's already located at the reservoir. So treat it to culinary standards and deliver it into the culinary system.
The regional reuse purification system will utilize indirect potable reuse through both surface water and groundwater augmentation. So Quail Creek and Sand Hollow Reservoir with the surface water, and since Sand Hollow is an aquifer recharge reservoir, we'll be doing groundwater augmentation via the surface water at Sand Hollow Reservoir. Purified water from the advanced water purification system that is used for potable reuse will actually improve the water quality of our local reservoirs.
Outdoor use of the reservoirs would also continue. The project is estimated to cost in excess of $1 billion and would be paid for by grants, new development impact fees, as well as water user rate increases.
The primary infrastructure that will be built will either be by grant funding, impact fees, combination of those things. But certainly, like most utilities, costs increase with supply and demand, and if that happens, that will happen naturally.
The program partners have secured over $250 million in funding, and that's through both loans and grants through local up to federal agencies. And we're pursuing other loan and grant opportunities so that we can pay for this infrastructure.
Initially, the Washington County Water Plan was to build a pipeline from Lake Powell to Sand Hollow Reservoir. But due to inconsistent water flows and impacts of drought, the focus has shifted.
The focus has shifted from Lake Powell Pipeline to the regional reuse system, but they haven't given up on the Lake Powell Pipeline. It'll just have to come at a later date.
Prior to this last storm a few weeks ago, it was the worst drought on record since 1895 when the St. George area began tracking.
We live in the desert. We are experiencing extreme drought right now, and so this reuse system is really critical to diversify our water supply portfolio under our One Water approach in Washington County.
Like other western states, Washington County is looking to preserve and reuse as much water for the future.
So under One Water Washington County, we're recognizing the value of water at every stage of the water cycle. Especially with reuse, water is too scarce and too precious to use just once.
In Washington County, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.